Hi Aditya, Advai, hi Ila.
Hello, sir. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, yeah. So are you all practicing the work that we have been discussing in last two classes?
Yeah.
So the PDFs, I sent two PDFs. One is the installation of JDK, and another one is setup of IntelliJ. So have you done both of those two in your laptops or computers?
Yeah. Long back.
Okay, so you all have development environment ready with you, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, very good to hear. So hi Anita, good evening. Okay, so let's let me open the spinner wheel. So I'll share my screen, so if anyone comes, I'll just allow them. So from next class onwards, we'll make something interesting. Okay, so today, by today, most of some basics, initial basics would be, you'd be comfortable with today's class. So from next week onwards, we'll try to make it different, slightly different, as we do in real time. So I do real time projects in my office, right? So we'll try to do it in a real way. Okay, that part we'll discuss in the next class. Okay, so yeah, now let's do the spinner wheel today. Okay, so let me add PDVAY Advai Aditya Anita Ila and Sudarshan. Hi Sudarshan, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Sneha.
Good evening.
So is your brother there? He's also listening to the class, right?
Yeah, both of us are here.
Okay, cool.
I was on listening. Yeah, that was just like.
Okay, fine. So let me see. Okay, we have, so we will continue now. Okay, we don't want to waste the time. So fine. So I'm going to start. So we'll be the first. We missed out Hasini. Hasini, are you there? Okay, first question to Anita. Okay, and I'll add Hasini as well. Okay, as usual we do, right? So this is our slides, and the first screen, as usual, it's our revision class. So Anita, first question is to you. JDK refers to
Java development kit.
Very good, Anita. Yeah. So next we'll go with, because we do the revision of previous class. So whatever we did in the previous classes, right? So we do the revision. So now Aditya. So the second question is to Aditya. Aditya, Java program mainly takes dash. What does it take?
Takes input.
Yes, it takes the user input. And the second dash applies multiple functions or processing logic on
the program.
No, on the input. So whatever user input that it takes, right? So it applies the functions, or it applies some processing logic on the user input only. Okay. And the third one, and generates the output. Yes. So you just remember this. Okay. So let's see next one. Hi, Hasini. Okay, next goes to Sneha. Yes. Hi, Hasini, good evening. Okay, yeah, Sneha, it's your turn now. So can you read out this one? Dash statement is used to read the user input.
Is it system?
User input. How do we read the user input? Okay. So we, okay, maybe I'll go through the program again. I'll open the program. So you see, this is our first program, right? So in this we have written.
I was literally saying.
Oh, Sudarshan, you wanted to say?
No, that was not me. It was Neha. No, no, I was saying like it to read it's okay. I'm not so sure.
Okay, fine. Yeah, let me help you out here. Okay, so we use the scanner API. Okay, scanner API is the one which makes your program ready to accept user input. So here basically what it does is it makes your program to accept user input. Okay, so this is the main statement. If you do any hacker rank or some hacker earth, right? So some codility, online algorithms, right? Online coding tests. So mostly you have to make use of this one to take the user input. And the second line is there, this one, right? Scanner dot in next line. So what it does is it reads the user input. So what the first line will make your program to accept the input, and this is the place where it reads the input. Okay, so it reads actual user input here. Okay, so and then this one is to read the next line, actually next user input. It reads the subsequent user input here with the next line. Basically, you see, scanner is a class. If I control click on it, right? Scanner is a class. So the class declaration is basically like this. We use the access modifier. So access modifier is nothing but it uses public or private or protected, something like that. Okay, all these things. So these are access modifiers. So now I'm not going to explain that part because you'll get confused. So just remember, for now, use public only in front of the class. So and then followed by a class is the keyword. So public is the keyword here, followed by class is the keyword. So this final also you don't worry about it now. Okay, so just you can ignore. And scanner is use a different function, but this scanner is already written by someone else, right? So this is a scanner is a class. So I want to create an object of scanner class. So how do I do that? I do using the new keyword scanner. So this is usually declaring any object, right? So what you do is this is the class name and this is user defined name. So first should be the class, whatever the class is there, right? So you have to give that class name here, and then this one becomes the user user defined name for this object. So you are going to create an object of this class. Okay, so what you do, you have to use the assignment operator. Equal to is an assignment operator, which I'm going to explain today. And then you have to use new is the keyword. So new is the one which actually tries to create the object. So again it comes class name here, and then you have to give open bracket and close bracket and then semicolon. So when you specify this is a default empty constructor. Default empty constructor, so which doesn't take any input, right? So this is the default constructor. Suppose if you have inputs to be passed, right? So what you do, if you want some details, basic details to be passed, you just go inside and then pass whatever is defined, like string or something like what we did yesterday. So maths program, we are passing two names here. So these two names are the variables inside this class, instance variables. So you declare this one, right? This becomes the constructor. So argument constructor. So you can say it like that. Okay. So this is how you define the class. You define the object, sorry. So you see, that's why I named it as object. So class name, object, followed by is equal to sign, and then new keyword, and then the same class name, whatever class name you give here, right? The same class name has to be given here with empty or whatever properties are there inside, right? So you have to give those parameters here. Okay, so this is how you declare the classes, class objects. Fine. So with respect to the question that I asked, right? So scanner is the API and which makes your program to accept the user input, and scanner dot next line. So you use this object, scanner object, and then you try to access the functions. So next line is the function or method that is declared in the scanner class. So if you want to see, just press Control, and then with mouse you just click on this next line. So you see, this is the method that is defined in the scanner class. Okay, now you remember this. So you call the methods of the class using the object. So this is the scanner is the object, and then using that scanner, you are calling the function that is available in the class. Fine. So this is basically, what this next line does is it reads the user input. Okay. So if you want to know more details about, learn more details about this, right? So what key you have to press? What shortcut key you have to press?
Control click.
Exactly. So is that Advay?
Yeah.
Advay, I give you 3 points for you.
Okay.
Control Q. So you press Control Q on the IntelliJ, and then IntelliJ will give you, what it does, what the next line does. Okay, you can read out this documentation comments. So whatever you see here, right, this is all documentation comments. So documentation comments are nothing but /2 ***. Okay, fine. I hope you understood, right, Sneha?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So any doubts, you let me know. But what I suggest is, like, every day, whenever you find free time, you need to practice the code. Okay. So first I'm explaining the basics. So most probably from next class onwards, you'll have the more problems to work on. Okay. Now we are still in the initial phase, right? So we'll learn the basics first. Okay. Next comes Adbe. No. Okay, Ila, it's here. Okay, this is yours. Dash statement is used to write details to the Java console. Ila, are you there?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so the statement. So how do you write the
Can I say?
details to console? Yeah, who's that? Are you?
Advay.
Okay, yeah, pass to you.
Yeah. System.out.println.
Exactly. So we use system.out.println to print whatever you want to print, right? So if you want to print anything, you just have to use this. System is the class, and then you see here is a static parameter here, out. Okay, static variable, and then using that static out, you just have to use println. Println is again a function method inside this print stream. So you just go inside. So this is a method. Fine. So what it does, whenever you run this program, right? So it will actually show it in the terminal run. Okay, I did not add it here. Okay, so maybe next slide I'll show. And this is how you write it to the console. So whatever you statement you add it in the function, right? So that content will be printed onto the console here. Okay, we say it as console, the lower bottom window, right? This window is called console. So that's for giving us, more details, like, what is this program and where it is stopped and all. So you'll come to know. So where the error is being occurring in the program. So you can all see that part. So I'll give you the, maybe you remind me later. So I'll explain the debugging, how to debug your program. Okay, suppose if you have any errors in your program, right? So I'll make a slide for that maybe in the next class.
In the debug console.
Yeah, debug console, correct. So I'll explain the debugging steps also. Okay, now let's see. I think Shakti Villain is not there. Shakti, are you there? So Shakti is not there. Okay. Hasini, it's to you, Hasini. Shortcut keys. So next question is on shortcut keys. Shift plus F6 is used for what? Is the shortcut key for what? Shift plus F6. Okay. Okay. So I'll tell again.
I'll send you in the chat.
Okay. Perfect. You're right. So you see here, where is that? So do you see this shift plus F6 key here? Shift plus F6 is used for renaming the file or renaming the variables or renaming any class name or method name, function name. So you can use Shift plus F6. Just select this, press Shift plus F6, and then it will show you the red color border line, and then you can edit the program. So the name of the function. So all the reference classes will also be updated. Okay. Now next one. So what is this shortcut for? Control plus forward slash.
To make everything a single line comment.
Exactly. So if you want to comment out a single line, right, you just use control plus forward slash. Then it comments out that particular line where the cursor is there. Okay. Suppose if you want to multiple lines, right? If you want to comment out multiple lines, just select and then press control forward slash. So the selected lines will be commented out. Good. The third one, control shift plus forward slash.
To make the multi-line comment.
Exactly. So multi-line comment. So I'm going to select these two lines and then control shift forward slash. So the whole thing would be commented out like this: forward slash, asterisk, forward slash, sorry, asterisk and forward slash. Suppose if I select only particular, content, right, and then press control shift forward slash, so only the selected part will be commented out. Okay, this is one of the advantage whenever you want to keep the lines in between, and then the particular text you want to comment out, you just select that and then control shift forward slash, only that particular selected name will be commented out. And what about this?
To run the program.
Perfect. Superb. So next one, import class. How do you import a class?
Alt enter.
Perfect. Advay, you seem to be very much familiar with the shortcut keys. Good, very good. So for others, right, so I'm going to explain. So we have the maths program here, right? So in my first program, I just remember I don't have this import statement here. Then it shows the comment, the error, right? Compilation error. So how I do? Just mouse over, or you can just use import class, or place your cursor there and then press control enter. Then it comes control import class. You can just import it like this. Okay, and control. Okay, what is the other shortcut key? It said Alt Shift Enter. So let's try Alt Shift Enter. Alt Shift Enter. Okay, it did not work in mine. Alt Enter. So usually Alt Enter, it will work. Fine. So the next one, duplicate line
Control
of your
D.
code. Exactly. Duplicate line is Control D. Perfect. So Control D. Control D duplicates. You see, like this. Fine. You all understood. So what is the if you forget any shortcut keys, right? So how do you refer? Where do you find? last week I shown that how to find the shortcut
Key map
keys.
reference. Help and key map reference.
Correct. You have to go to help menu item, and then select this key map reference. So this is where you can find all the shortcut keys that IntelliJ allows. Okay, IntelliJ provides. So you can find it here. Good. Now let's go to the next one. Objects have dash and dash. So who will say this? What does objects have? Sudarshan, it's you.
Yeah, objects have
Objects have state and behaviors.
yes, correct.
Okay, perfect. So objects will have the state and behaviors. Okay, you say the next one also. Dash is the template that describes state and behavior. No, it's a class. So you declare the objects to the class, right? So objects are declared to the class. So class is the template that describes state and behavior. So inside the class only you'll see the state of the parameters and behavior. Okay, let's give an example here. Maths program is the class. Okay, so this maths program class have two instance variables. So these two are state, right? State of this program. And these functions, right? So whatever you see the functions here, these are all behavior. So behavior of this class. Add numbers, get full name, get other person name. So these are all behaviors. Okay. I think I answered the next one. Dash is used for representing the behavior of the class. Can anybody say?
The function.
Correct. Function or method name. Okay, function or method name is used to represent the behavior of the class. Okay, who is left now? Okay, Advay, all questions to you now. Next, class name and file name should be dash. So class name and file name means, so this is my class name, right? This is my class name. If you go and see here, this is the program, right? So this is a file name. So this file name and this class name should be
Same.
same, exactly. So both should always be same. Next one, class name should start with dash.
Class.
No.
Public.
No, the class name should start with the capital letter.
Oh, class name.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
class name.
Class name is, yeah.
So what about next one?
Small letter.
Lowercase. So the method name should start with lowercase. The class name should start with a capital case. Okay. And the subsequent words will be in a camel case. So the first letter will be capital and the subsequent letters will be lowercase. Okay, fine. So sorry, I think, it should be the revision 2 actually. Okay, I'll just correct it. This is the revision 2. So we did the revision 2 now. And let's go to today's class. Okay, we'll be talking more about data types today. Okay, data types and some operators. Now, so these are some of the keywords which I shown you in the last class, but we did not discuss much about the keywords. So we actually learned about the class already, right? So the class we know, and extents also we learned. So what for we use this extents? Anybody?
Extend is used for like becoming the child of that class.
Correct. So extents is basically is used to implement the oops concept. You remember this like this. Okay, extents is used for implementing the oops concept. What is oops?
Object oriented program.
Correct. Oops is nothing but object oriented programming. So we have a concept called inheritance. So inheritance means what? You want the features of the parents to the child, right? Then you extend it. like what we did here. You see, the first program extends to the second program, means whatever is available in maths program, right? So by default, all will be available in my first program also. Okay, so if you want to inherit from this program, from this class, you usually you'll extend it. So when you extend, you'll get all the features of maths program. Okay, fine. So that's okay, and this part and all we'll do today. And for loop, go to if implements. Okay,
We discuss return also.
no, no. Yeah, import also we learned, right? So import is basically like if you want some other class, like, you know, scanner to be available in this class, in your class. So what is your class here? My first Java program. So in this class you want to import, then you will use this import. Okay, fine. Okay, give me a second. Okay, fine. So we learned about import also here. So public is again the,
So that the others, like the other users can also access.
correct. Public is nothing but, you know, everybody can access. So this class can be accessed by anybody. Then we make it as public. If only one class should access it, suppose assume that, you know, this is the main class, right? I want one more class inside. So then I declare, okay, by default, one more access class here, like, you know, second program, and then like this. So then this class, right, this second class is available only within this main class actually. So this is the main class, right? So we call this one as inner class. Okay, you remember this one also. We say it as inner class. Okay, yeah, this is the inner class, and this inner class have the access as, you know, private. So means it is available only within this class, the main class. So you cannot call this second program from outside world. Like from maths program you want to call, you cannot access because the access, you know, for it is private. Okay, fine. So that's what private and protected. Yeah, protected we learned in the last class, right? So why do we use protected? Maths program, I think we added protected. So okay, this one, name as protected. So why do we use protected? Anybody have any idea? Okay, protected is used only when you want to make it available in other classes. Okay, other classes which extend. Only when you extend, then only this one will be available. Like if you see my first program, it is
So when
extending here.
so in inheritance only we if it is inherited, then only we can use.
Correct. Yeah, in one way it is like, it is correct actually. So but all the protected variables or, you know, protected functions, you can use it only when you inherit. Means you see there is one more point to it. Like we have two different packages here. One is programs package and another one is service package. You want to import the function from maths to inside this my first program, right? Then you have to extend it. So that's where we use protected. When you use protected, then it will be available to the class of the other package also. Okay, remember that. So protected actually makes the variables available to the other classes which are in other package. Okay, fine. So we will talk about some of the details later.
In the last class, you also discussed about return.
Written, yeah, but I did not give more details, so we'll give more details on in the next class. Now we'll learn about some basic basic assignment, and then operators. We learn about operators, and then we learn about the data types. Okay, now let's see variable assignment syntax. Now we'll learn about the variable assignment. Variable assignment is similar to what we declare the class object. So how do you define the object? You use the class name here, and then you use the user defined name is equal to new, and then you use the class name, right? So variable is assigned the similar way, but you don't declare the class here. So it's just like first thing is the data type. So you'll mention the data type here, and you give your own name, whatever name you want to give to your variable. You can give the name of the variable here. And is equal to is nothing but the assignment operator. You remember this. Is equal to is assignment operator, means you are giving a value to this variable of type data type. It's like that. Okay, remember this. And here I need to highlight one more thing. Whenever you declare any variable, right, you need to follow the standard practice. What is the standard practice? You give the data type name, right? So when you give data type, it must be followed by a space, and you give your own custom name followed by a space and equal to, and again one more space here. After space, you give the value and then semicolon. So that's the good practice of representing the variables. Now I have given some of the examples in the bottom section. Okay, so I want some Hasini, can you read out these examples?
Int salary equals 4,000 semicolon.
Yes, correct. 4,000 is the number, right? So 4,000 is the number. That's why we we assign to the data type of int. Int is nothing but number. Okay, remember this. Next slide, we have the more details on this part. So now, yeah, Anita, can you read out the second example? Hello.
So I have a doubt.
Okay.
Like in float, apple price is equal to 1.30f. If you already declared it is a floating point number, then why do we need to write f again?
Okay, F is for the JVM to understand. So it gives the exact this is 1.30, right? You see here. You see the second line, third line. Double total price equal to 78.90, right? So it doesn't know whether it is a floating point number or it is a double number. Double is like decimal, more decimals actually. Okay, so to differentiate that, we use F for the floating point numbers and D for double. Okay, you remember this. Next slide will have more details. Next, if you want to assign any okay, why I'm giving these examples is nothing but we have the numbers. So for numbers we use int. For decimal numbers, for small decimal numbers we use float. For some bigger decimals we use the double. And suppose if you want to give some names, so like strings, the text, so you'll use the string data type. So string is nothing but it's a class actually. Okay, it's not the data type.
It is not a keyword.
Yeah, it's not. No, it is the keyword, but it is the class actually. It is a class. It's not a, yeah. If you say.
So that's why we need to write the capital letter.
Correct. It's not the keyword. It is a class. Something like this. You see, it's like this. So somebody has written public class string. So that's why it is caps. The first letter is caps. That's why I highlighted it here. It's not the data type. Sorry, it's not the primitive data type. Okay, it's the data type of string class. Okay, next one is Boolean. So we have true or false, right? So if you want to assign true or false, we assign it to the Boolean variables like this. Boolean space is valid space is equal to space true. So either true or false, both are valid. And char is nothing but a character actually. Java accepts the Unicode characters. So whatever characters you want to specify, it should be in a single quote. Okay, like this, something like this. Char space, you can give any user defined name, space is equal to space single quote, some no, character, any character. It can be dollar symbol, it
It
can be
should only
underscore.
be one character, right?
Yeah, only be one character, right? And then followed by semicolon. Okay, the single character should be in single quote, enclosed in single quote. Fine. Now here comes the important part. So if you learn this next two slides, right, it's very important for you to follow the next classes. Next classes would be easy for you. Okay, so data types. Now when we are talking about the data types, let's give an example. Okay, I'm going to create a new class. Okay, now I'll pick someone. Sudarshan, can you tell me how to create a new class? So I want to create a class in the programs package.
So you right click it and then you go to Java class. New and then Java class.
New and Java class, correct. So now I'm going to give the class name as my second program. Okay, my second program. So no need to give .java. Okay, this is my second class, right? Second program. So what I do is I'll give some comments here. So this is the documentation, right? So I'll give more. Now, this class is for
Data types.
yeah, learning more on Java data types. And who is that writing here? Author. I'm giving my name. Or let's mention. Okay. So I have declared the class now. So whenever you write a class or you want to write a Java program, I always suggest to follow the standards. Even if it takes time, don't worry. So just provide the documentation comments. Okay, follow the standards. Then you no need to rewrite for all the classes. Usually, human mindset is like this. Okay, let me write the program, and then once the program is working, then I'll write the documentation class comments and then comments. So whatever it is. So what I suggest is follow the steps. So now I declared the class. So for this class, I want what is this class about? You just mention it like this. So sometimes what I do is I don't know what this program what are the steps to be written here. So what I do is I just take a basically to do. So to do and then you give like this. So give a comments, okay? Give a single line comment here, and then to do is nothing but it is one of the identifier to make yourself as a task list. This is like a task list, to do item. So what is this to do item? Learn about. So first thing is right. What is the data type that we are learning now? First byte, right? Okay, let's write a byte function. Okay. So second to do is I want to write a short function. So something like this to make once I implement the byte, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll delete this line. Okay, something like that. Okay, this is the to do is nothing but it will help you to remember, not to forget what you are going to do in this class. Fine. So here let me talk more on this content. So Basically, do you all know, have idea about like, power? So 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2.
Yeah.
You all know, right? Powers. So basically, any computer programming language is like, binary digits of 0 and 1, right? Flow of binary digits 0 and 1. So here also we use all zeros and ones, but it's all internal logic. I don't suggest you, to get into those things, because if you get into those things, you'll lose the interest. Means focus on the basics first. Once you know about the basics, then you get into that. Okay, what is this byte? How it is being used internally? So you get inside that. So now I talk how to use it. Okay, we have 8 primitive data types in Java. Okay, it supports 8 primitive data types, like byte. So byte is nothing but 8 bits. So okay, let me explain here. Each bit is nothing but what? One bit. It's a 1 bit. Now 1 instead of 1, yeah, 1 byte. So computer storage. So when you are talking about buying your laptop or computer, right? So you will first ask how many, what is the storage in the laptop, right? So they'll say like, okay, 1 TB or 200 GB or 300 GB, something like that, right? So the computer memory is measured in bytes. Okay, so the lowest measure is bit. Lowest measure is bit. So the next followed by 1 byte. So when you say 1 byte, it is like 8 bits. Okay, 1 byte is nothing but 8 bits. Now we'll talk about this. So 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So 8 bits is nothing but, you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are the 8 digits actually. So each digit will hold the value of either 0 or 1, like this, 0 or 1. So each digit 0 or 1. Any number is represented this way. Okay, 0/1, 0/1, and then, so this is the binary format of any number. So in either 0 or 1. Example, 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 0, something like this. So this is a binary representation of one number, something like this. Okay, all the binary numbers will be like this. Next. So similarly, you can give any number, 1 0 0 1, sorry, 0 0 1 1 0 0, no twos, only, yeah, something like this. This is also binary number. You see, 8 digit. This is 8 digit, right? 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. So this is an 8 digit binary number, 8 digit binary number. So we call this as 1 byte. Okay, 1 byte. Now we have so each byte is represented with 8 bits actually. So when 8 bits, right, it means like, byte is a primitive data type. Okay, byte is a primitive data type, means you declare a variable. Okay, let's write a program. Okay, let's write a program, then we'll understand. This is a main function, and as soon as write main, so what should I write?
Documentation.
Yes, documentation.
There is primitive data type and reference data type, right?
Yeah. So reference data type is nothing but, what we did here in the first program, right? This is another class, right? So if you're going to declare a variable or object for another class, then this is called reference object. Okay, reference data type. So this my MP object is of the type maths program. Okay, so if you ignore that part now, so first let's learn about the primitive data types. So out of this primitive data types, first one is byte. Okay, so the first one we are learning is byte. So here you mentioned byte, and then you, so how to, okay, now I'll ask, anyone give me a syntax of, assigning a byte.
Byte,
Okay,
then the custom name.
no, space followed by space.
Yeah,
Right?
space, then custom name.
Okay, so
Then space
number 5
equal to,
hmm,
and then the number,
5,
and then semicolon.
and then semicolon. See, I gave number 5 here, right? 5. Suppose, so I'll just give like this random number, some random number 5 I gave, right? So byte is how many characters? How many characters is a byte?
8.
8 characters, right? So out of these 8 characters, each one is like, it comes from right side. 2 to the power of 0 plus 2 to the power of 0 plus 2 to the power of 0. So basically what I am trying to say here is this number, this binary number is represented as 2 to the power how 2 to the power of 0 is this one. Okay, and then this one will be 2 to the power of 1. 2 to the power of 1 plus, and this one is again 2 to the power of 2. 2 to the power of 2 plus, like this, it goes on like this up to 8. Okay, and the last one would be 2 to the power of 7. 2 to the power of 7 plus blah blah blah. I just mentioned something like this. Okay, so this is 2 to the power of 7, and then this one will be like 0 only, right? So we'll consider only wherever the number is there, right? So only in those places we will measure, we'll get the value, and then we'll sum it up. Okay, like that. If we sum it up, so whatever the maximum value comes, whatever the smallest number comes, right, that value will be taken in the byte. Okay, let's see here. Now I'll give another example here. So I want to see what is the minimum number that it can take. So the default value is 0 always. Okay, I'll mention here default number. Okay, default byte number. I'll just mention default byte number is always 0. Okay, this is default value, and you may get some idea like if this is the default, what is the maximum number that it can store, so that you can find it out here. Okay, I'll just write it here. What is the minimum number? Minimum number, it takes the negative value. Okay, so what is the negative number it can take? Minus
1 to 7.
1 to
7.
8. So if you see 1 to 9, then it throws, sorry, it gives the red color underline, right? So red color underline means byte cannot take minus 1 to 9. So what it does is this minus is there, right? So this minus is the last character. It will use it for the sign, whether it is plus or minus. To detect whether it is a positive number or negative number, it uses the last bit. And then the last bit would be like this, 1 to 9, it cannot hold. So after 1 to 9, 1 to 8. So 1 to 8 is the minimum number that it can store. Minimum that a byte can hold. So when you talk about the minimum, you may again think about max also, right?
So it should be positive 1 to 8.
Exactly. So maximum would be plus 1 to 8. 1 to 8 it doesn't accept, right? So what you do, you just reduce one value. 7. So this is the maximum number. Okay, maximum number that a byte can hold. So you remember this, okay? This part I just wanted to highlight, so I just mentioned it here. So minimum value is -128 and maximum value that byte can store is 127. So what is the representation of -128? -128 is nothing but -2 to the power of 7. That is a minimum number that it can hold. What should be done? How to calculate the maximum value for a byte? So the maximum value is here 2 to the power is here 8-bit, right? So when it is 8-bit, you should reduce one digit from here, one bit from here, it becomes 7. So 2 to the power of 7 minus 1. So always maximum value should always do -1.
But
Okay.
why cannot it hold, like, why do we need to reduce one number?
Why do we need to reduce the -1?
Yeah. I mean, like, why do we need to do -1? Why?
No,
Like,
that is the maximum value that it can hold. So 2 to the power of 7, no, the representation of the binary digit, right? So the binary digit, it can hold only, it's a representation actually. No, for now, you just remember like this. All the rules are similar for other primitive types also. So if you add +1 also, it cannot hold because that's the storage, right? So the storage has a limit. So it can store up to 2 to the power of number of bits. It is a 8-bit, right? So 8-bit means 1 bit is used for sign actually. It is a plus sign or minus sign, and remaining digit 7 bits, right? 7 bits it uses for calculating the number. Okay. So to make it easy for all of you, so byte is a 8-bit number. Okay. Byte is a 8-bit number, and its default value is 0. Minimum value is -128. Maximum value is 127. Just remember that. Okay. Now, similarly, we understood byte, right? So the next primitive types will be easy for you to remember. So when byte is a 8-bit, I want little bit, so you may have some requirement. Oh, 128, I don't want 128. Now I want 127. So I want a bigger number to store. How will I store? I don't have a bigger number, right? So in olden days, they used to, use byte. So after some days, they wanted to store a bigger number. So they don't have a bigger number to store, right? So what they did,
short.
they increased this. No, instead of 8-digit, right? What they did is combine these two numbers. So how many digits it will become?
16.
16. So that's how they make the number as big. So you see, short is a 16-bit number. So byte, in olden days, they were using. So now, we want some bigger number. So we started using short. Short is 16-bit signed 2's complement integer. So 2's complement, why I mentioned it is like this one, So it's like 2's complement. So 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, up to blah, blah, blah. Number of digits, right?
So in short, it goes until 2 to the power of 15.
Exactly. So that's why I mentioned here. You see, the default value for short is 6, 0, and minimum value that it can store is -32,768. So which is, this number is equal to -2 to the power of 15.
Sir, why isn't the minimum value -2 to the power of 16?
Because
Okay.
starts
I
with
get it,
0.
Yeah, you see minus is there, right? So minus is nothing but, the last digit, right? It will consider, the program considers.
I got it.
Sign. Okay. So always, 16-bit, right? So 16-bit means you have to take it as 1 digit for sign. So remaining is 15 digits, and that 15 digits bits will be used for storing the numbers. Okay. So the maximum number that it can store is 32,767. Okay. So now here comes short. So short is also a keyword. Okay. Short, random short number is equal to 32,456, something I just mentioned, random number. Okay. Now for this, the default value is always 0. Okay. This one I need to default short number is this default number. Okay, and maximum and min numbers, right? So I'm going to copy these two here. Copy here, Control V. I'll just copy these two here, and then short number copy. Sorry, max and min. So here 327, 32768, 68, and this comes 7. So if you add 8, right? So it shows the error because the Java knows actually the short cannot hold more than 32767, not more than that. Okay, so here I need to make it as short. Together, I'll just make it as together. Okay, there is one more thing actually, you want to calculate for yourself, right? This out. So there is a math API actually in the Java. So you can select this 2.0, 2.0, something like that. Okay, to the power of 15.
So can a double number, like a double keyword, can also hold a normal number?
But with the precision, okay, the precision should be there. Okay, you see here 32768. So 2 to the power of 15 is how much? 32768 minus 1, right? We had to do minus 1, right? So you do minus 1. Then you'll get the. So this is one of the way to calculate or calculate the number, the power, the mathematical operations. Okay, so you use math. Math is the class which already have the arithmetic operations inside it. So you can start using those arithmetic operations using dot. So here you see, you remember here, right? So math is a static class. That's why, POW. POW is the power. Power is a static method. That's why you cannot declare a variable. So variable or object. So what we do, we'll use the class name directly dot POW. It's like that. So class name dot POW. So because POW is the static, you see, static. That's why we always use the class name. Okay, so here I'll write it as static methods to be always called using the class names. Example math.pow. Okay, maths.pow, something like this. So you go and try to research in this math class. Okay, what are all the functions available here inside? So this is sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta, blah blah blah. So many operations are there. All the mathematical square root also you can find it, and then you can get a lot of things actually. Okay, rounding the numbers. Yeah, basically, every year, right? There are a lot of improvements actually. So we don't need to write the power is common, right? If you see, calculating the power of two numbers is a common. The functionality is common. So if you write or I write, you want to write your code, you want to duplicate your code, and I also have to write the same code again, right? And if Advai wants to write the power function again, he has to write the same code, right? So to avoid that, what programmers does is they'll create it as a library, so that others can use the same behavior. Like the Java creators have already written the math class. So these are all the existing functions. If we want to use it, we can use it. If you want to use it.
So basically, whatever I write between the brackets of math.pow, I can get the value.
Correct. You see here, we got it in the console. This is the console. So I told
Yeah.
you, right? System.out.println is the content that it writes to the console, right? So in the console, I mentioned this way. So it is written to the console. So if you want to give us details to it, right? So you can add it like this. So 2 to the power of 15 is equal to. I just leave it like this. So let's see what's the error here. Minus cannot be applied to string, right? So when you get errors, what you do, you just enclose
Add
it
in a bracket.
Yeah, you enclose the within the brackets, then this one will be executed first and the second brackets will be executed second, and then the inside one. Okay, now you see, I'll execute this. When I run this, you can see in the console 2 to the power of 15 is equal to, which is wrong, right? This is wrong, right? So what we have to do?
Minus 1.
Then this becomes the correct. So anybody who wants to see the output, right? They will see here, okay, 2 to the power of 15 minus 1 is equal to this number. Okay, correct. This is good. So in earlier case, we did not mention this, and then people will get confused. Oh, why is it? It's 327. It is showing. So to just give them more details, you can add the text like this. Okay. Now similarly, you can find. Okay, this is for short actually. So this is for short. This one I'll make it here, and you can find it for math. Yeah, this one is how many bits?
8.
7, right? Byte is 7, right? 8 bits minus 1, the maximum number. So you'll calculate like this, minus 7, then you write the right click and run, or Control Shift F10. So now you see 2 to the power of 7 minus 1 is 127, 2 to the power of 15 minus 1 is 327. So you can give some more details here. You want to give. So I'll add plus within double quotes, which is maximum number in byte, something like this. So you just have to visualize the things like this, give a space, which is a maximum number in
Short.
So this gives more clear details. When somebody reads, right? 2 to the power of 7 is equal to 7 minus 1 is 127, which is maximum number in byte. So it gives clear, understanding, right? So that's why we have to use proper text messages in the console. Okay. Now let's see. So can I proceed for another few minutes? Is that okay with you all?
Yeah.
Okay, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay. So I'll just complete these items so that we'll have the programs to try. You can try some programs. Similarly, int is also like that. So I'm not going to explain more about the int and long. Okay, it's also similar to byte and short. Int is nothing but it's a 32-bit signed number. So why int came is like some people, they want to use more numbers, not this one. Some millionaires, right? They want to use a million number, a number to represent their amount of salary or something like that, right?
Richness.
So they want to use bigger numbers. So bigger numbers with short they cannot use. So what they came up with is like they increase this 16. Earlier it was 8 digit and then 16 digit, and then they use 32 now. 16 into 16. So it becomes 32. And then the default and minimum and maximum values will follow the same rules. Yes, Aditya.
Sir, the calculator uses which programming language?
Calculator, I think it uses internally, some kind of C or some C++. Maybe they might have used internally. Not exactly sure about that. Okay. So now, yeah, you see here, and 32 bit. So, okay, if you want to see what is the biggest number that can be stored in int, right? What you can do? You know, right?
Yeah, 2 to
This
the
is the,
power of
yes.
32 minus.
So you can try this logic actually. 2 to the power of 32, right? So 32 minus 1. Why minus 1? 1 is for identifying the sign of the number. So what will be 31? So I'll give 31 minus 1 is int. Okay, now you see Control Shift F10. Okay, you see this is representing in exponent form. So 2 point. So you may get confused. So what I suggest is we go here, maximum number in Java, something like this. So you can see here, this is the biggest number and this is the smallest number. Okay, you can see actually that's the same actually 2.1474, 2.1474, 83648, 8364849. So just E9 is like 10 to the power of 9. You have to multiply into 10 to the power of 9. So then all these digits will go away. Okay. So similarly, our some people, right, they are not satisfied with the 32, that this big number also. They still want to use bigger number than this. So what they did, they went with long. Means additional 64 bit is being added actually. So you can actually check what's the biggest number that it can store.
So it's 32 into 2.
Yeah, 63, right? Here it comes 63. 64 bit means 63 minus 1, which is long, bigger numbers. So now you try to run this and see 2 to the power of 63 minus 1. You see 9, 2, blah, 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 and then e to the power of 18. So let's try the same here. Okay, you see this much big number in long. So long can store this much big number. Okay. So fine. And then similarly, right? For decimal numbers, we will use float and double. Float uses 32-bit single precision. Single precision is nothing but, you see, I'll give an example of this. So float, right? So let's get into this. Learn float here. Okay, so I'm going to give float number is equal to 12.3645 something blah blah blah. How many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, and then F. And yeah, float has got the limitation actually. You see here how many decimal points I gave? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 decimal points I gave, right? So what it does is, so it can store only 6 to 7 digits of precision only. 6 to 7 digits of precision. Means what? So let's see the float number that it can store. So I'm running this program and you see what number it stored. 12.34567, and then it rounded off the remaining numbers. Remaining 890 is there, right? So 8 is greater than 5. So greater than 5 means it increments to 1. So it increments plus 1 actually. So 8 becomes 9 and then it will stop there. So the same thing, the same number. So how many? Okay, you see here, count how many precisions are here, how many digits are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only, right? So here I'll mention 1 and 2. So here I'll mention dot here, and then I'll change dot. So instead of 12 point, I'll make it the same number. It's actually the same number. I'll just make it as 1.234567890. Okay. So it becomes this, and then this becomes.
You could do shift F6.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll do that. So now I'm going to run this program. You see here in the second case, how many digits of precision we got? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So we got 7 decimals in the second number and the 6 decimals in the first number. So that's why I mentioned it here. So stores a decimal value with 6 to 9 digits of precision only, depending on the number of digits in that number. Okay.
So it checks for outside the like left side of the point and right side of the point.
Correct. Yeah, it will calculate all together. So depending on how many digits it want to display. Okay. So it stores both positive and negative numbers similarly. So what is the default value? 0.0 F. Okay. So similarly, the double also is same like float. Okay. The only additional use case for double is it uses 64-bit. So people wants to use bigger numbers, right? So bigger decimal numbers. So when they want to use bigger decimal number, they went with double. Okay, 0.0D is the default value, and double uses 64-bit. Okay, and double actually, the decimal values, right? So how many digits it can store? It can store up to 15 to 16 digits. Okay, 15 to 16 digits, depending on numbers. So same like this, I'm going to share this program to you all. Okay, so you try this. I'll make it as to do here. Try double here. Okay, you try double here. So same thing, same code. You duplicate here and see how the double works. Okay. Now after this Boolean is again like 1 bit. So 1 bit is nothing but either 0 or
1.
0 or 1. So
One.
either 0 or 1. So 0 is considered as false and 1 is considered as true.
True.
So default value is 0, which is false. So possible values is either 0, true or false. Okay, let's try that one. So learn here. Okay, now yeah. So what should I mention? His name is equal to true. So this is how you mention. So similarly, if you want to, is not name. So here I mentioned false like this. Okay. So this is how I mention, and then you can actually print his name as. So you give this and see how it prints actually. So if you run this program, you can see like true or false. So this is true and then false. So something like this.
But why does it not show like 0 or 1?
Oh, yeah, that's the representation of Boolean. So it internally, true is internally considered as 0. Sorry, 1. False is internally, Java treats internally as a 0. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and next comes the character. Character is nothing but the 16-bit Unicode characters. So usually Unicode characters we represent like this /u and then 4 zeros. Okay, and the minimum value is 0000 and maximum value is FFFF, which is hexadecimal. Okay. Now all these represents the characters. So it's like 0001 is one character, 0000 or 02, 0003, 0004 represents one character. So the character can be $, whatever keys that you see on your keyboard, right? Ampersand, greater than symbol, less than symbol, and then star, asterisk, ampersand, and then the modulus. So if you see Hindi language or English language or Spanish or Japanese or Chinese, so all the characters comes under, each character is treated as a unique single Unicode character. Okay, so we can print Unicode characters like that. Fine. So you can also try learning, I'll make it as to do try, so char here. So /u0009, something like this, and then Control Shift F10. You see what's the Unicode character that it prints? Something, it printed something on the console. 65. See, this Unicode character is nothing but E. It prints character E. Okay. So similarly, you can duplicate this actually. So I printed how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So 6 times E should be printed. You see, 6 times E is printed. So like this, you can change the character. 65, 66 here.
Is 66F.
67, 68, sorry, 69. And then you can mention 70. So you can see, like, there are many character Unicodes actually. So all those characters you can see here. See E, F, G, H, I, P, something like this. Okay. All these are Unicode characters. Fine. So we are done with the primitive data types here. Okay. 8 types of primitive data types. So I want you all to practice this. Okay. If you don't practice, you will not be able to understand. Okay. So what you will practice is the operations. Try to do operations like this: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, increment, like this. Okay. So let me give some high level idea of operators so that it will be useful for you. So if you want to add two numbers, right, you just use plus symbol. Okay, we have operators. So this slide will explain. Yeah.
But for strings, it is called concatenating, right?
No, that is string actually. So I'm not talking about the string operations. Okay, I'm talking about the operators only on the primitive data types. Okay, so you can use all these operators. So we have 4 different types of operators. One is arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, and logical operators. So I'll not get into these details more. I'll explain more about these details in the next class.
There's also bitwise operator, right?
Yeah, bitwise operators are also there, but mostly you don't get into those things. You'll get confused. Okay, that's why I did not mention it here. So you'll get lost actually when you start looking into those things, right? So you'll get lost. So basically, whatever you learn in the school, right? So you can map to these operations, and then you can try. So basically, you try with arithmetic operations only. Don't try with assignment. Already assignment you can try. Fine. Other things I will explain you in the next class. So try with only arithmetic operators. So addition, subtraction. Plus is addition, minus is subtraction, and then star or asterisk is multiplication, and division is forward slash. Modulus is nothing but revision. Reminder. If you want to get any reminder, right? So you'll use the percentage symbol, and increment is like +1. Plus is nothing but always +1. Minus is nothing but always -1. I'll just give an example here. Okay. So then you try on your own to do operators. Okay, some operators I'll tell. Okay, now 5 plus 6. You see 5 plus 6 is the standard way? No, right? Because I'm not giving any spaces. So if you want to form auto format, right? So what you use? Control Alt L. Control plus Alt plus L. auto format the old file. Okay, so now you can try multiple operations here. So I'll just try some, and then this one. Okay, 6 divided by 3. 6 divided by 3 is how much? So you can get like this, 6, and then modulus. Modulus is nothing but percent, and then give 2 here. And then
Modulus
here,
will be 0, right?
yeah, modulus is nothing but reminder. Okay, so here 5 plus plus you cannot do. Just make it as int 5. We give 5 is equal to, right? And you just mention 5 plus plus. Okay, and then you, instead here also you can do minus minus. So here you can do one more way actually. So here plus plus 5. So you can add plus plus to the front or back also, but you see the difference. Okay. Okay, you see? Yeah, 6 into 5. So 5 plus plus is, even if you have written 5 plus plus, right? The value of 5 is actually 5. So it will be applied in the next step. Okay. So this way you cannot understand. So here I will mention it as 6. This is 6. Okay, 6. So I don't want you to yeah. Okay, 5 minus minus and then 6. Okay, if you see here, this part is slightly different, So basically here what it does is, I am assigning a value 5 to a custom int variable as 5. So 5 plus plus means, so at this place, it will not change the value. So for the next operation, here I don't mention, I want to print what is the value of 5, right? Then it will be printed. So here it will print as 5 only, and at this place it will print as 6. Similarly, here it will print 6 in the beginning, sorry, 7 in the beginning itself, because plus plus is in the first, right? So here it will print.
So if your plus plus is in the back, it directly adds it, but if it is in the front, it will still print the original number, but later it will just like show the
Correct. Yeah, I'll just comment out this part. You just make the same thing for minus. So try for minus 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 6 and 6 minus minus. Okay, you try for minus minus also here. I'm going to run this program and we'll wrap it up for today's class. So you see, I said here it will be printed 5, right? So 5 is printed here, and whenever you use this 5 variable next, at that place, it will become 6. And then here, right? So the first the value for 6 is 6, and then in the beginning plus plus I mentioned, right? So at this place immediately it will become a 7, and the subsequent statements wherever you see, it will still be 7. So you understood this part, right? This part is slightly, you have to focus more on this part. So once you understand here, then it would be easy for minus minus also. Okay. So here, if you don't understand, right, you just make it as add more statements here, something like this. Okay, like this. Then this way it would be useful for you. I will update this and then I'll send you. Okay, this file. So I'm done for today. So all these operators will see the remaining 3. I'll explain in the next class. Okay. And I have given some practice work for you all. Write a program to assign a Boolean value to a variable, 2 numbers to 2 variables, and display their sum. So you know how to sum, right? Plus.
Should we get the user's number?
No, that's up to you. You want to make it big, you can make your program big using scanner API. Okay.
Yeah.
So you try the last one. If you get it, okay. If you don't get it, okay. We will. It's just for boosting your brain. Fine. That's it. Any doubts? You can just post it on WhatsApp group. Okay. So even if you don't understand anything, right, you just let me know in the group. Okay. I want to know whether you are practicing or not. Okay. Yes. Thank you all from from my side, and I'm done for today. So anything, any doubts, you just post on WhatsApp. And Sneha and Sudarshan, I want you both also to start practicing. Okay. I'm not sure whether you guys are practicing or not, but I want you also to practice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it from my side.
Yeah, sure. I was practicing on my end. Like I just sat with it today, like before the class.
Okay.
Yeah, so I still have school.
Yeah. Okay. See, actually, no, I understand. Actually, from last class, I did not do much actually. So this class, it would be mathematical operations, right? So you can try more from this class. Okay, I'll send you this PowerPoint presentation also, whatever I did today, right? So that it will help you. Okay, I'll send it right now after the class.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you all. That's it from my side. See you on Thursday. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.